Worst cheater. The worst cheater in boxing history. How do you cheat in
Let
boxing?
me ask you a question.
Lie about your record?
1983 was the best
Thanks
year
for
of
5
your
gift
life,
subs, Lane.
but also the worst year of your life.
And no, I do not. Relax.
That was the best year and the worst night.
Shortly after the fight, Collins' handlers charged that Resto's gloves
Metal
had
in
been
the-
tampered with.
Oh,
Some of the
wow.
required padding had been secretly and illegally removed, adding extra impact to Resto's punches. The New York State Athletic
That's
Commission
fucked up.
apparently was suspicious, and they impounded Luis Resto's glove.
We'll never know how far Billy Collins could have gone. You want to give him the benefit of the doubt. He was an undefeated prospect.
It would be an entertaining fight. It would be a tough fight, a lot of punching going on, and in the end, Billy would win. It seemed to me he would always win.
It was the right fight at the right time against the right
I
opponent.
learned recently that boxing gloves actually increase the rate of injury and death in boxing, as opposed to bare knuckle.
The night of June 16th, 1983, Billy Ray
Don't know how
Collins
true
and
that
Luis
is, but
Resto
I remember
met in
reading
the ring
that.
of Madison Square Garden as the co-feature to Roberto Duran, Davey Moore.
The night of June 16, 1983 was magical.
It was a big night. Roberto Duran was fighting Davey Moore for the junior middleweight championship.
Every single seat.
I'm gonna actually, hold on. I'm gonna look that up real quick. Everyone always says boxing gloves are safer. Even recently, Danny brought up something about that. But from what I remember reading, boxing gloves increased injury because it makes your hand more protected, so you're able to throw faster without hurting yourself and throw more. Whereas bare knuckle, it hurts a lot more on yourself, so oftentimes you won't go full power every time. Let me see. What the fuck was what was it called? Okay, let's see. Yep. Boxing gloves are actually more dangerous and result in more deaths than bare knuckle boxing. Here's the study. Pretty wild.
God was filled.
Resto was 28-2. In his corner was Panama Lewis, one of
Can't
the
click links
big-name
back yet.
trainers
Just
at
tell me
the
what it's
time.
called.
Louis Resto was a fighter who was just
And yeah, I
rough
talked about that at
and
the beginning with
tough.
John
On any
McAfee.
night, Louis could give anybody in that
Please
division
stop
a fight.
recommending things
I saw
through
him as a
donations. Just
journeyman,
put it in the chat.
as a tough guy that you prove yourself against to get that shot.
Very effective by Collins. Hindsight, even it down.
Billy Collins was promoted by Top Rank, among the leaders in boxing promotion.
They were grooming Billy Collins to become a superstar.
Man, he was tremendous. I mean, he was
Oh,
great
he's
looking
really going
kid.
in.
He had all the moves. He punched like a mule. I mean, if this kid can make it through, we got a gold mine.
Resto walked into the ring with 1 ounce of padding removed from each glove, and plaster was also put in his wraps.
Whoa. What the fuck? Wait, holy shit. The big thing is the plaster that he put in there.
The fighters traded. Collins' eyes slowly started to swell.
Countering beautifully, Jake. Yes.
See people hanging on the rope.
If this was a Floyd Mayweather fight, we'd be 5 rounds in without a single punch thrown.
Good right hand. Good right hand.
Woo! There it goes. Oh, he got hit. He got hurt with that one. It staggered him.
Resto staggered him with the right hand.
He hit him again. He staggered him with a...
Seems to have a swelling
Here's the
over that
resub
left eye, Jake, or cut. I don't know what-
Tankington and Zatums and Taker of Life. Your dad was on Life Swap? Yeah, maybe I could watch that. You fought this guy? Which guy?
There's going to be an upset here. It's the entire either. Our 13-0 is in jeopardy tonight, Jake. You think? I know it is. Let's listen.
With the doctored gloves, he stayed as close to Billy Collins as he could, round after round, pounding Collins as often as he could. Even through all of this, Billy Collins still remained, swinging that left hook until the end of the contest.
That's the only way. He took a lot of a little too late.
He's getting hit even.
That's a tremendous punch.
Jesus Christ. How many rounds does this go? They said he has plaster in his gloves, right? That's gotta hurt so fucking bad.
Junior middleweight bout, corner of Billy Collins and blemish. The perfect record seems to be in jeopardy tonight. And where I see it,
Guilty Gear Strive's fun. Yeah, I like it.
coming up. For me, can't lose. Junior middleweight fight. Low, but doesn't mean anything.
What a game fighter he is.
Man, this is crazy. There's so many punches thrown in old boxing. Compared to modern boxing, it's a fucking joke.
You don't want to stop. With 19, with 17, I bet they get up and give him a big hand to whole place. The end of the fight.
As Resto went to congratulate Collins, he shook hands with Billy Sr., who
Oh,
immediately
damn, Tori.
noticed that the glove was missing padding and called for the commissioner.
Resto crosses the ring and gives Colin the Judas kiss. As he's turning away, you can see Billy Ray's father's hand.
I don't think Billy Collins Sr., from what he told me, even thought that there might have been something wrong with the gloves until the very end of the fight. Otherwise, he would have pointed it out. It was at the end of the fight when
This is
Resto
interesting.
congratulated him that he grabbed onto the gloves and held on, and he started screaming for the inspectors, "These gloves, these gloves."
You can't hold the commissioner. All the pens on him, damn glove. All the pens on him, goddamn glove. They're all out.
What's fascinating is to look at who Louis Resto
This is
looks
tier
at.
one, relax.
Not looking down, surprised at the gloves, or wondering what's going on, or looking at Collins and saying, "What are you talking about?" But immediately turning to his co-conspirator and waving him over. Panama just jumps in and starts yelling, "Those are the gloves you gave us! Those are the gloves you gave us!"
That's the glove they gave us. That's the glove they gave us. That's the glove they gave us.
They didn't want to take him off. They wanted to go out and I says, "No, take him off. Take him off the glove. I want to see those gloves. I got a complaint here. I want to see those gloves." When I
You
saw
show me
the
that shit right now, pussy.
handed it to it, I knew there was something wrong with the gloves. There's something
This
missing.
is the gift sub Surgeonor and the gift sub Lewis.
The decision was unanimous in favor of Luis Resto, but shortly after the
I don't
fight,
remember
Collins'
non-filtered.
handlers charged that Resto's gloves
I
had
don't
been
remember.
tampered with, that some of the required
Agent 8, I
padding
think?
had been secretly and illegally removed, adding extra impact to Resto's punches. The New York State Athletic Commission apparently was suspicious, and they impounded Luis Resto's gloves.
I saw 2 pairs of boxing gloves. That two
A
had
boxing
R on
glove
it,
scientist.
two had C on it.
These are not regulation.
I observed a hole in the left and right glove that was marked R. Any layman could tell that the glove was tampered with.
All right, it's June 29th, 1983. I'm with the New York State Athletic Commission. Purposes of this tape to record a hearing. Louis
I'll look for it,
Resto
Surgeonor.
versus Billy Collins controversy.
The hearing, it was almost a foregone conclusion. I think it was, in some ways, it was more for the process than it was for the discovery of a truth.
I called one of my photographers, Ben Sharav.
Surprised Billy could last as long as he did.
I know
Yeah.
Billy's staying at the Southgate Towers. I want you to get there early in the morning.
It's actually pretty wild.
And he took shots. I said to Ben, "I wish you had the kid open his eyes." He said they were open.
Did this like end his career?
When he got off the plane, his father was leaving him. He was blind.
Thanks to resub Cinesol.
Sunglasses on, and he literally had to raise the skin around his eyes to take the sunglasses off.
It was like a horror picture, you know, and I guess I looked away or something, and I remember the first thing he said, "I'm your husband, look at me."
But it seemed like every time it hit me, you know, I could feel knots come on my head, and my eyes already started to swell about the 4th or 5th round, and I just couldn't figure it out, and he made some good body shots, and I'd never been hit like that before in my life. Why in the world didn't you go down, or did you think about quitting? Well, about the 7th round, I got hit with a good shot in the rib, and I thought my rib was broke, you know, but it crossed my mind, to go ahead and take a breather, to squat down, get some breath, But, I guess pride or something,
Holy
not to go
shit.
down, just keep going. That's what I try to do.
What a champ.
He could work. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't hold a job. He had cataracts. We fought all the time.
I did see him one night, hit her, and it was a uppercut that shouldn't have happened, that's for sure.
What the
I
fuck?
with my parents because I was afraid he was going to kill me. And I still loved him. For the longest, he would just sit in the apartment and smoke and drink and trash the apartment by himself. He wasn't Billy anymore.
Nearly 9 months after the fight,
Is
in
this,
the early
I don't
morning
know what to tell
hours
you.
of
Here, I'll
March
try this
7th,
again, I guess.
1984, estranged from his wife and infant daughter, Billy Collins Jr.'s downward spiral came to a tragic end.
He was depressed of hearing that he would never fight again.
Billy and the guy from next door, the guy named Johnny Duke, come in. And I could tell, Billy was a little drunk.
There was a bar not far from the house where you could shoot pool. And he
He's a
wanted
tier
us to
1
go.
Jason.
We chose not to go, and he left mad.
After they left, of course, Billy beat the crap out of Johnny, got the keys from him. And he told me that Billy looked at him and said that I'm just going to kill you, or I'm just going to kill us, or something.
It's like
Really
everything was
relaxed.
taken
Holy
that night in the
shit.
ring.
What a sad story.
Was 22 years old.
25 years ago this June, a criminal boxing match took place at Madison Square Garden. It turns out it was more than just lack of padding in Resto's gloves.
Not only was the padding tampered with during the fight against Billy Collins Jr., but plaster was used on the knuckles in the wrapping.
The Collins family today filed a lawsuit against the state of New York Boxing Commission for negligence. It's a 25-year-old tragedy that isn't over yet.
Holy shit. Well, that was a lot sadder than I expected it to be. So in boxing, do they not check the gloves? I feel like that'd be like one of the main things you'd have to do to run a boxing event is make sure that you inspect the gloves. They do? So what, they just didn't do it that night? They do now. Holy shit. Thanks to the resub Graziani. I don't know why the fuck that guy wanted to kill him so bad. What's his name? Louis Resto? Was it like a bad blood match between them or something? Because that's like aiming for murder. Holy shit. So it seems like he did it because of the large bets against him. Or, yeah, I think it was against him.